Thanks for joining us. I can't wait till you tell us all the great stories from traveling. And you get married in like what? You said April?
Yeah.
It's not that long. We're almost in October.
I know.
That's
oh my
nuts.
gosh.
That's nuts. What's up, Buster? What's up, Joe? Thanks for joining us on the webinar side of this. This should be a really good one because Ariel is a newer Chime user and she's doing very, very well. So that's really what we're going to dive into. We want to see how she's been able to scale this process because Ariel, it's just you and your mother, or what's that team structure like?
Yep, it's just us two. We're starting to toy with the idea of growing, but as of now, just us two.
All right.
Awesome.
Sweet. And
what?
Go ahead.
I have to ask, what's your primary source of leads?
My primary source of leads is from Brian Short.
I figured you were going to say that.
Yeah, I know. So he's awesome. I'm starting to get some leads come in from like Instagram and those things, but as far as high volume leads, it's all Brian. He crushes.
And you've been in real estate for a year-ish, right?
A year, yeah.
A year.
A year and like a couple of months.
Tell us how your first year went.
So my first year was in COVID, obviously. So people are like, oh, it must be great because the market was so hot. Yeah, but no one knew who I was. So I just busted my butt and made a lot of calls. But as far as the first year goes, like to date, I was looking back at some numbers on my Chime yesterday and was like, okay, this is not as bad as I thought it might be. My first year, I kind of expected to just be, all right, I'm just grinding and trying to set up the pipeline, which is true. But if every year just doubles, you know, if I can 10x, that would be awesome. But if I can just double every year, I think I'd be happy with that. So all that to say, it's gone well, and it's definitely proven to me that, that this is what I want to be doing.
Got it. Talk to me about like your model, your overall model, because one of the things that I'm a huge believer in is that everybody runs their own business. Don't try to judge your business based on what other people are doing, and don't try to build somebody else's business. Build your own business. Sure. Talk to me about your model and how your model works. It's you and your mom, but let's talk about your model. Do you have ISAs? Do you have anything like that? What do you have going?
So we do not currently have ISAs, but that is next on our hire list, or next on our additions, I suppose, as we start to grow. So the way our model works is it's all rooted in Chime, really, not just because I'm on the Chime webinar, but it really truly is. So the leads come in from Brian. Typically, we've got some organic leads and stuff, but really, basically all my leads are from Brian. And then I'm the one reaching out directly to the leads. I'm the one going to get the business. So I'm working with the AI assistant, looking at, okay, how many hours a day do I have to reach out to, the hottest leads that the AI assistant has already qualified. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I reach out to them, call them. It makes it super easy because Chime has already done the dirty work for me. The AI assistant I can already read, see what they're doing, train my AI assistant accordingly if it didn't work out great. And then really from there, whenever I call them, they already feel like warm leads. So then I set the appointment. A lot of people lately, and I don't know if this is normal for real estate or if it's just because my first year was in COVID, but people don't want to meet until they want to see a property. So maybe that's a question I can ask you pros, but
that's pretty typical.
Okay. All right. Then I feel better about that, but trying to set the appointment, putting them in touch with the lender, yada, yada. I'm doing all the business development, if you will. And then once we get under contract, my mom handles the rest and I'm on to the next deal. So all the deals we have under contract right now, I know generally what's going on with them if we're on track, but I'm not in the nitty gritty. I'm already getting other deals under contract. So that's a 10,000 feet view of kind of our model. Does that answer your question?
Perfect. So now my next question for you. Sorry, Tristan, I'm running with this. My next question for you is, okay, so you use the AI assistant. How are you handling the handoff from because so one of the things that I see so many people ask is like, well, how do I change the name of my assistant so it's my name? First of all, you don't want it your name or your ISA's name, because then it gets weird. How are you handling the handoff from they're talking to your assistant, your AI assistant, now they're talking to you? What's the connection there?
So I started out, I literally made my picture a picture of a robot because
I remember that.
I didn't want the confusion of, oh, I'm talking to Anna. Anna has some serious issues because I already answered her question 4 times and Anna keeps asking me, so, and as you train your AI assistant, like obviously it gets much better and it's great, but it's still a robot, right? So I started going about it saying, hey, thanks for talking to my AI assistant. Well, a lot of people don't know what AI is. And so now I just call it my robot assistant. So if I'm reading through, when I click on the piece on Chime that shows me this is what the AI assistant is working, I look through those, the ones that it's messed up, I go ahead and call, and if they don't answer, I'll shoot a text and say, hey, this is Ariel. Thanks for chatting with my robot assistant. Sorry, it's still being trained. Is there something that I can help you with personally? And a lot of times they'll respond, and most of the time they don't. But at least I'm jumping in there and just saying, hey, it's a robot, but here I'm a real person now.
And that's funny because you and I do it very differently. So I absolutely let it make mistakes. I absolutely treat it like it's a real human being. And the reason that I do it my way is, and again, there's no right way to do this, right?
For sure.
Everybody's building their own business. They're doing it their own way. My way is just different. And I do it, I treat it like a human. And then when it screws up, I actually beg for it to screw up. The more it screws up, the more reasons I have to reach out to someone. And when I reach out to them, it's like, hey, dude, I am so sorry. I'm training someone. I don't know if you've ever had to train people. Dude, people these days just don't get it like they used to. And you don't like to make a comment like that. Like, you know how hard it is training people? Anyways, you get me from now on. Do you have any questions? Now the awkward. I saw one in there that was really bad recently. And it was a quick phone call. Like, hey, sorry this happened. Now you get me. What's up? How can I help you? And people generally understand, especially if they've ever had to train someone or have been trained.
Right.
So
no, I like
two
that.
different methods. My favorite way to do it is when I reach out to someone, I will literally say like, hey, you reached out to my assistant, you guys had a conversation. She put a hot pink Post-it note on my computer. Tell me to reach out to you. Looks like you're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath house, blah, 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 blah. And I go right into it. And then they start thinking, wait, was that a person that was real? I make them question it. I like the robot assistant idea. I think that'll work for some people. I don't want people to think they're talking to a robot when they're talking.
Dude, I go the same route as Ariel, but I put
Do you?
little Grogu, right? Yoda.
Oh yeah, well you do.
Because
For the record, I have never seen any of those movies. Okay.
Okay, no problem. We won't hold it against you.
I haven't either, but I at least know who he is. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I honestly
Yoda.
don't even know who that is.
I haven't seen the movies, but like I've been out from under a rock.
Oh,
you don't know who Yoda is?
Yeah, I got little baby Yoda right there. Come on.
So is that baby Yoda? Okay, anyways, we'll talk
about
it's
not baby Yoda. Oh, look, the point is that we put a little picture of Grogu on there, and this way people know that they're not really talking to baby Yoda, right? So if he screws up, they know it's a chatbot. And with the training, like Ariel was saying, they're not always going to get everything right. So if they do anything stupid, we're going to be like, hey, you know what? Let me handle it. This is a real person, right? You were talking to our AI, but we're still training them. I have a question for Ariel on that. Ariel, who do you reach out to when the AI does something that's like kind of way off, and you're like, you know what? They shouldn't be doing that. How do you have that addressed by Chime? Is there a way?
That's actually a great question. I'm sure there is a way, and my fiance is going to kill me.
So I can take that for you, Ariel.
Perfect.
Because well, here's honest to God, Tristan. Here's how she does it. Randy, it's screwing up again, and then Randy will fix it. Let's just be really honest here, okay?
You are so accurate.
I love that.
Anyways, for any
I
other
hate this
person,
thing, and then he fixes it.
It's so funny.
for any other person, you can literally click the Train My AI and give feedback. It's changed a lot because I was a huge proponent of like, whatever you do, don't click that button. They've changed it a lot. It's not direct entry anymore. It's now someone at Chime will actually review that and make the appropriate changes for you. So that has actually changed, and that's actually new. So I'm really glad you guys are bringing that up.
Well, I like
Actually,
that.
wait, I do know that. I thought that you meant if the AI assistant has messed up something, does it flag it and say, hey, the AI assistant has messed something up? That doesn't happen, right? But I do train the AI assistant all the time. I did it 3 times this morning.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's changed. It's gone from direct change, which was really screwing a lot of stuff up, to now it's a like a peer review. So someone will review it for you and see what it did. So there you go.
All right, so let's talk about Brian short leads, because not everybody on here understands what you mean by that. Are they PPC leads, or he also, okay, so pay-per-click Google
Bing,
leads.
all search engine PPC leads.
All right, and then take me through that process. When the lead comes from Google or Bing, what happens and what do you do and what does the AI do?
Yep. So as soon as the lead hits my Chime, AI assistant's going to reach out. Hey, thanks for viewing our website. Is there, would you like any more information on a property? Yada, yada. The way that I then shift is I go to the first thing that they entered on Google. So actually on their lead page on Chime, it will show me what they typed in. So yesterday, someone typed in Belmore Park homes for sale. So I just scrolled to the bottom, and when I reached out to that person, I was able to say, hey, I know that you were checking out some properties on my website. I actually just had a client order a market report for Johns Creek, and I know you were interested in Belmore Park. Are there other neighborhoods in Johns Creek that you'd like me to send you a market report for? And one, it makes it look like, hey, I already have clients interested in that area. And I actually do, but sometimes I don't. Hey, I've already got this. I've got other clients. I'm busy. You want me to shoot it to you as well? 2, I'm offering something of value immediately. 3, it's specific to their needs, and I'm not having to reach out and say, hey, so do you live in Georgia? Are you interested in buying a home in Atlanta? And they're like, dear God, this is going to take so much for me to explain that,
Right.
I want Belmore Park, a specific gated neighborhood.
Nice. And what's the follow-up after? I mean, if you don't reach them, what happens?
So I've been working on labeling them. I have different labels in my Chime: attempted contact 1, attempted contact 2, attempted contact 3. After that, I put them to nurturing and cold. It gets really hard to be able to keep all of those organized. So I have to set aside time once every couple of weeks to, okay, let me regroup and organize my leads, which is what I spent the afternoon yesterday doing. It takes a long time, but it's so worth it. So the follow-up from there is I'll set a task reminder for myself, kind of depending on how hot I think they are. If they haven't responded to anything, but they're opening my emails every day, I'm gonna call them. First time I don't leave a voicemail. I know people have different ideas on this. Shoot a text and ask if there's a better number I could reach them on, because I didn't reach them on, and then I'll type out whatever number it is. And then call them again the next day, or maybe a couple hours later, depending, and leave a voicemail that time. And then I use the tasks a lot because it lays it out for me every day. And then once I've, updated their searches and reached out for 3 days, several times a day, I usually put them to nurturing cold, but put them on a smart plan that, keeps me in front of them. And I've had clients reach out 8 months later. Hey, thanks so much for handpicking properties and sending them to me every day.
Yeah, that's the key right there. That stands out so much because people don't take the time to actually get that process into play. Do you have the AI touch all of your old leads at all? Like if they come back or no? Or do you have that shut off?
So yes, if they have not returned to my website in about a month, the AI will reach out and say, hey, about a month ago, I realized that you were looking at some properties. If it's been longer than that and they still don't reply, the AI assistant will reach out again. And then, so I think I only have it set up for 2, because after like 3 or 4 months, they're still getting the emails. But as far as the AI assistant texting them, I think I usually wane off, which may not be good, but that's
Brett,
what's happening
Brett,
currently.
do you do the same thing?
Hang on.
Oh, Randy's on.
Hang on. Sorry, I muted myself there. Yes, I do basically very similar.
There we go. Just had to mute him.
No, but I basically do the same thing that Ariel does. And then I actually do one thing that's kind of different than a lot of people do. So we talk about personalized stuff. And like, so what I'll do is every morning I'll log into the listing, like where all the new listings are. So I'll check all the new listings that came on the market. I select every user. I select every new listing. First of all, I look at it because I want to see every new listing that's coming up. But then I'll go through and find out whoever matches the buyers that match that listing. I will go through and I will select if they have 5 matching features or greater, they're going to get an email or a text from me. If they have more, if they have 7 matching features or more, they're getting a text for sure.
Ooh.
But every single one of them is going to get, if it's 5 or greater, they're going to get a minimum of an email, which is like a, hey, this just popped up on the market today. This matches some of the stuff that you're looking for. Do you want to go see it?
Dude.
So you want to talk about how to be proactive? Use that. That is arguably my favorite feature in Chime. I love the AI assistant.
Hands down.
That is my favorite feature though.
All right, so check this out. I'm just going to share my screen because people forget that exact feature. And we just got a new listing and this is something we do. So this is the main screen on Chime. We just got, well, it's just circulating through a couple of listings we have here, but we just got this one. And look what it says right here. 140 existing leads may like this listing. What do you think we're going to do next? It's exactly what Brett was talking about. This is exactly what we're going to do. And this increases our chances of double ending this. Do we want to double end it?
Oh, yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah,
that price point, you do.
Yeah. So that's one feature that we just don't use enough of that we should all be using. Because, dude, I love your strategy too, because if you don't have any listings, you can still do the exact same thing on every listing on the MLS. And then it looks like it's exactly what Ariel said. It makes a client feel like you're actually paying attention and it brings them back.
Right.
I think something that's been difficult for me, so I don't have a bunch of listings right now. I'm mostly working with buyers. And so, and obviously I'm working on that, but I got to deal with what I got right now while I'm trying to grow that side. So something that I've found kind of difficult that is a great reminder of, Brett, is how can I differentiate myself by sending properties? Because I think so many people still think that as realtors, it's our job just to send properties and find it like it used to be when there wasn't an MLS and Redfin and all of that good stuff. But now I have a hard time differentiating myself because yes, there are off-market properties, but you can't really guarantee that. So that's a great way to be like, hey, this just dropped on the market. It might not have hit Zillow or Redfin yet. Wanted to shoot it your way. I love that because I've really struggled with that.
So one of the things that I like telling people when I tell people this in my initial welcome video, like this goes out initially to them, basically telling them like, hey, my job really begins once we go under contract on a house. Everybody thinks that a real estate agent is there to open a door. Being honest with you, anybody can open a door.
Right.
My service truly begins when we go under contract. That's where negotiations begin, and that's where my strong suit is. So that I let people know right away that my job begins once we actually write an offer. At the offer, my job begins. So before that, I encourage people, and this is something where smart plans, I like smart plans that educate people. And so one of the ways you educate people is you flat out tell them like, hey, here's the process that we go through when we are looking for homes. My job truly begins once we actually get under contract. And for those of you that know, I love showing agent models where I have showing agents actually go out and show homes. And then I write the offer, or my buyer's agent would write an offer. So At that point, they don't care who opens the door for them, as long as I am the one writing the contract for them.
That's true. That's very true. And look, man, if you've got listings, you have the ability just on that one little screen that I'm just going to show you again. It's just too powerful for it just to, because people get lost in everything that Chime can do, right? And sometimes we forget that it's right in front of our faces. I mean, let's just take a look at, I'm going to go back to this listing. We can not only see which one of these leads is interacted with the listing, we can send the text, and check this out, run a Facebook campaign, run a print campaign. It's all right here.
Right.
You can stay stuck right here for a few hours, right? Look at this, just so you can do it right. 337 existing leads. This is why we double end 30% of our listings. That's a massive number. You know how much more money we make because of that? Because you better believe we're texting everybody as soon as we get a listing, because that's the way people communicate.
Yeah.
You miss that.
Do you use that in your listing presentation as well?
We do. We pop it up. We actually pop up our computer, laptop, and show and say, hey, look, I'm just going to show you what we do. Super easy. And nobody ever brings their laptop and turns it around and shows their CRM and be like, look what I can do.
Right.
Right.
I did that one time. I think maybe Randy learned it from you because he recommended it and I did it and it was awesome. I didn't get the listing, but it's okay. It was
the experience.
Yeah. Listings are so hard. Maybe I need to watch a lot of y'all's videos on listings because
look, Ariel, the very first one I ever went on that was like very nerve-wracking for me was that $4 million listing, where it was like my very first multi-million-dollar listing that I got door knocking, that I got invited to. I didn't get the listing, but I'm sitting there, I'm sweating on a suit, tie, and it's like, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, I feel so out of place. And they asked me, how much is your, why are we going to pay you $125,000 on commission? That was the question. And I didn't have an answer for it. I didn't get the listing, but I learned a lot from it. Right. So I think we're all in different spots and we're always learning. That's why I love showcasing what Chime can do, because it becomes such a huge asset to your business. We just have to know that the tools are there so that we can showcase them to our clients.
Yep.
And we forget that, because damn, that just that one little thing is super powerful and it can keep us there for the whole day. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry.
No, you go right ahead.
I know a lot of people get really overwhelmed, my mom included. We're about to go, like I said, Randy and I are going to Dubai for almost 3 weeks. And my mom's got to be boots on the ground. And she runs a very successful business in Arkansas where everyone knows her name and trusts her throughout the state. But people don't yet know us here in Georgia. And so I'm happy to be in their face and send them 14 videos, telling them why they should use me, even if they don't. But that she gets so overwhelmed with Chime because she logs on and there are so many different things to use. So what would your advice? I know it's supposed to be you guys running it, but I'm going to ask y'all a question. What would your advice be to somebody who's super overwhelmed with Chime? What's the one feature that you think is monumental to utilizing Chime to improve your business?
You want me to do? I'm still going back to the listing manager of the new listings that are popping up on the MLS. It literally, if there is nothing you do, even if you do no other contacts for that contact, if that person comes in, that lead comes in, you do nothing else other than make sure they're set up on a property drip that is relevant to what they were searching for, and then use the new listings that pop on the MLS. If you use that feature and send them new stuff as you go through it, daily, weekly, whatever, those two things, if you can't close deals off of that there's other problems. But those are the two things that I do, and I encourage everybody to.
I encourage everyone to turn on their AI. I think we overthink that they're going to mess up, and I think that we forget that we're the ones messing up every day, and that's how we're looking. And so if you can just have some grace in knowing that it's a learning along the way, and the sooner you turn it on, the more you're going to learn from it and how to adjust and live with it, the more you're going to learn to leverage that piece so that you can start growing your business. Because dude, AI is just the first step to then growing and scaling, because who are you going to hire next, right? What staff member are you going to hire next? And we forget that to me, that's the most important piece of Chime. It sets it apart from, there is no other CRM out there with real machine learning. Everybody says there is, but we've already seen the back end. It's a combination of automation with some AI. There's nothing out there like Chime, full AI, nothing. So that sets it apart.
I mean, my family literally helped start Sync, and I use Chime. So like, if that doesn't speak highly of Chime, like, yes, I'm engaged to Randy, but like, family first, you know. And I don't know what else does. I really don't.
That's so funny.
That AI, the thing you guys have to remember about the AI, and a lot of people say, well, you know, yeah, it messes up, you know, occasionally. You know, what do I do? How do I call? Here's the thing. The AI is there to buy your time back. That's the biggest takeaway you guys need to take from this. Is there to buy your time back. You want to go spend your evening in a kid's soccer game? Awesome. You now can do that, and that AI is going to run in the background. You want to go show houses and you don't have a full team? Awesome. That AI is going to run in the background. It is not there to be an end all be all. That is all it does. You never have to follow up with a lead. That's not what it's there for. It's there to buy your time back. That's it. And that, if people use it that way, man, that it's so powerful, because then you actually have time to go do stuff, and people, your clients don't feel like a number to you. They feel like they're getting followed up with, and then you actually can reach out to them. Anyways,
I agree.
That's my 2 cents.
Ariel, Brett, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, go ahead, Ariel. I'm pretty hard to get a hold of.
All right, Ariel, you first.
I'm not. You can always reach out. Actually, I do better on Instagram than Facebook. My Facebook messages really get buried. So I am at Ariel Sells ATL on Instagram. And if you want to take a look at my website, if you're still considering Chime and want to know what the website looks like, I'm atlantahomes.io. I've got a really cute robot assistant if you want to
yeah, no, I'm virtually impossible to get a hold of. Pigeons, carrier pigeons. It's the best way to get a hold of me. Yeah. So
I mean, people can email you at least, right?
You can find me in the Chime group.
All right. Oh, that's right. Actually, that is the best way, in the Chime group.
They can find me in the Chime group.
That's
tag me.
Good.
I'm actually not good at that either. I really should be, because I'm a moderator, but really Instagram is the best way. I'll respond to the chat group if you tag me.
I love it.
Good to know. So basically, I should be sending you funny cat videos on Instagram.
Yes. And Randy doesn't have an Instagram, so maybe I'll send you all the funny, like the broke agent videos that I want to
Perfect.
see.
That works perfect. I got you covered. I got something coming your way.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ariel, Brett, you rock. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.